What up, though, Pride Nation, and welcome back to another episode of your Detroit Lions Roundtable with who? The Detroit Sports Alliance, aka DSA. We have a good show for you today. We have ourselves, let me put it this way. We got ourselves a good old announcement to make today, people. An announcement that we ourselves could not be more excited about that we are going to make. And on top of all that, people, we're going to give you what you asked for. Detroit Lion content by Detroit Lion people. All right, first up, we have in the building Mr. Lions on the Prowl himself, Mr. Jim. What's going on, Jim?
Hey, what's going on? We've dodged some thunderstorms tonight to be with y'all. A couple thunderstorm warnings and stuff like that. Some crazy stuff happening weather-wise, but we're happy to be here.
It's getting real in Michigan. It does that from time to time. Next up, we have the heart of the city, Mr. 313, J-Mo. What's going on, bro?
What's good, y'all? What's good, man? We got a great show for y'all tonight, man. What's good?
Then we have one guy that always makes it hard for me to do my job because I think he's hilarious, Mr. Detroit Drew. What's going on, Drew?
Make it hard for a lot of people, but on a serious note, before we start getting into the jokes, I want to give a warm farewell to Mr. Tiger, Al Kaline. Rest in peace, sir.
R.I.P. to him. And then we have the master of introductions himself, Mr. MicroMike. What up, though?
What's good? Let's get it.
And now we have the moment that we've been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen, our newest member, someone that we was excited to have because not only do this person know this sport, they know it well and they good at it. We was excited when the opportunity presented itself, and so like always, we want to try to build this community. And if you notice, the photo says Detroit Sports Alliance, one pride, one family, one community. Ladies and gentlemen, let's please give it up for our newest member, Miss RachelMarieSports. What's going on, Rachel?
Hey, guys. So excited to officially be a part of this little family.
Hey, we're happy to have you. This right here is hands down like the coolest thing because you are now officially like the Detroit Lion Queen Bee, technically, right? Like you gotta be the Detroit Lion Queen Bee now, and the official like grandmaster of like the Queen of the Lions Den. That's got, you know what? That's got to be your new thing. You're the Queen of the Lions Den.
I like that.
I gotta add that to my Twitter tagline.
Yes, Queen of the Lions Den. Yes, absolutely, people. If you are in this chat, please make sure you give our newest member some love. Make sure that you go and subscribe to her. Her channel is in the description. Make sure that you subscribe to her because you do not want to miss all of this good stuff. Mr. MicroMike, can I get you to do that roll call for me, sir?
Yeah, what up, though? Ed Whiting, Funky Nuts, Eric Schmidt, Era and Not, 12th Man Pride. Let's see, Motown Football, Kid Dead Kid, Top Dog. Let's see, Kyle Webb. I'm scrolling down, Data Boy, Motown Football, Peace and Quiet, D. Williams, Baby Barry Lyons, Dat Dude, all sorts of other people, Marcus Willis, Rich Law, Jordan Cartwright, The Hook Camp, James Holyfield. If I missed your name, I apologize. What up, though? Let's get at it.
Man, absolutely, absolutely. If you have not hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen, please do so. Today's opening question comes from one Mr. Sports Illustrated. And the reason this had to be asked is because this scenario that they came up with was so wild that I was like, there's no way we cannot not discuss this. So Sports Illustrated wrote an article that has the Lions coming up with three first-round picks in this year's draft. As a result, the Detroit Lions will select at number 12, 19, and 26. If Bob Quinn pulls this off, should his job be safe? We're going to start off with the Queen of the Dam, Miss Rachel. What should we, should his job be safe if he gets this done?
I mean, I still want to base whether or not I think his job should be safe a little more after the season, but I would be extremely impressed if he could actually pull off getting these three picks. And I read the article that you sent to us. I think it said trading with Miami for 5 and 26, and then with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Or trading back down with the Raiders. And I just thought to myself, if all of those pieces could actually fall into place,
wouldn't that be a miracle? Wouldn't it be special?
it really would, and I think a couple of those Bob Quinn haters out there would definitely be kind of tilting their heads, going, "Huh." That would be pretty impressive in my opinion, but gosh, I don't know how it would happen, but if it did, it'd borderline miracle.
I mean, listen, Jim, what are your thoughts on this? The Sports Illustrated has the Lions coming up with 3 first-round picks. Now, if you're not aware of what the article says, and Rachel broke it down very clear, it basically says this. This is for those people in that chat who did not get a chance to read the article. It says the Lions make a multitude of trades to get this thing going, starting off by trading the number 3 pick to Miami Dolphins for the number 5 and number 26 pick. It says then it turns around and waits as another desperately needed quarterback needy team jumps up, enter the Las Vegas Raiders, who move up from 12 to 5, and in exchange they give them number 19. Now here's the part that's interesting about it, because not only do they give us their first, they're saying that the Lions are going to get 3 first-round picks and pick up an additional second. Jim, if he pulls this off, should his job be safe?
No, not at all. No, I'm saying, okay, so number one, he traded for the picks, but he ain't picked nobody yet.
Well, according to Sports Illustrated, they say at 12 he takes Kinlaw.
Yeah, he takes Kinlaw, he takes running back, and he takes I can't remember the other guy.
Yeah, Kinlaw, DeAndre Swift,
cornerback out of Clemson.
Oh,
and
yeah,
cornerback out of Clemson, AJ Terrell.
Yeah, okay, so he takes those guys. That's great. I'm just saying we're going to have to wait until the season starts playing out, because if we're saying, oh, yeah, he got this big trade, but yet nothing works. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that he's going to trade those guys.
So you feel like if he doesn't do it, it's mostly just a guy collecting picks and didn't do nothing with them?
Yep.
Okay, listen. I can't argue with your logic. Mike, what are your thoughts on this? You think if he pulled this off, his job should be safe?
No, his job should not be safe. But with that said, this is something that JMO and I have been talking about all off season. We need Bob Quinn to be aggressive in this draft. No more being passive. No more being relaxed. I want trade downs. I want you to go up and down this board like no other. We need playmakers. We need to make moves because this team needs talent. Staying at 3 to me is not an option, because we can get more players for this roster. And I think that's a little insane to get 3 first-round picks. I think most likely it'd probably just be 1 pick. But like Jim said, you still got to make the picks. And to me, a general manager is not judged just off their first-round picks. They're judged generally 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round picks. You can start knocking those picks out, then you're a really damn good general manager. You don't get Kenny Galladay. You don't get Deshaun Hand. You don't get these players in the mid-round. That's what you got to do. And that's what's been wrong with the Lions organization for decades, is they've never had a general manager with the ability to acquire talent in the mid-rounds. We finally got one, but this is a make-or-break year. We suck, you're out. We do great, you're in. We have to win, or get the hell out of the way and let someone else do it.
Okay, all right. Listen, I'm picking up what you're putting down, J-Mo. Detroit Lions apparently make this John Madden football trade where they essentially trade their 3rd pick in exchange, and they walk away with an additional 2nd and 3 first-round picks. If this happens, should Bob Quinn's job be safe?
I don't know about his job being safe, but I'll be happy with it. But one thing about that whole trade scenario is a couple things. I don't like trading back down from 5, because now you're not about to get one of the Isaiah Simmons, Chase Young, Jeffrey Okudah. Also, I don't like the players they selected. Kinlaw is cool, but the running back from Georgia, and then Darrell from Clemson. Like, what in the world are you thinking? Like, why would we take them?
Auditioning for the new
man. Look,
so
I
angry.
Like DeAndre Swift, but I know Dobbins isn't the biggest running back, but I'm tired of these 5'8" running backs. And I'm not taking that corner either. No, there's no way I would take an offensive lineman and then maybe double up.
J-Mo, we gonna get into that. You going ahead? You going ahead?
I'm saying what I think about it. But
listen, I get it. Drew.
Yeah, I wasn't even done.
Oh, my bad, J-Mo. I be forgetting, bro. When you go. My bad. Go ahead, man.
Man, come on, you interrupted me in the middle and then tried to end it. Come on, man.
Go ahead.
I was saying that I don't like the picks that they suggested us get, and I don't like moving back from 5. And I agree with Jim. You got to get the picks right, but also what Mike said is 100% right. I want Bob Quinn to be extremely aggressive, and I want a lot of high round picks. And if it works out that way and he picks the right players, it'd be a good move. But I need to see some wins, Bob Quinn. I don't care. I'm done with this drafting these free agents. I want wins in the win column.
Yep. There you go.
I definitely have to go left. I can see this right now. It's going the way it's going. All right, Drew. I mean, what are your thoughts right now? I mean, if he pulled this off, should his job be safe?
I don't see how this does happen, but if it does, you gotta be like, okay, that's a serious move. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it does, you gotta look at it this way. You get 3 opportunities in the first round to get a steal or hit a home run. If you bat 1 of 3 in baseball, that's considered some of the best you can do there. However, if you shoot 1 of 3 from the free throw line, that's pretty terrible. So how you looking at the percentages is really you're gonna affect this thing. I never had a problem with Bob Quinn. My whole thing is Patricia. I think Bob Quinn has done a good job as being the front runner for this front office. I don't really have anything bad will towards him. So if he does this, I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm not going to be upset. I just want him to get the right guys. It takes a lot less pressure off of him to take a player like Chase Young or Simmons at 3. Now we can start looking at some holes we need to fill, and that's offensive and defensive line, and really start to put a fundamental team this way. I mean, we have a ton of options right now, so I'm not surprised these rumors are coming out, but to get 3 first-round picks, I'm just curious of what we would give up, because I don't think that number 3 pick is worth 3 first alone. So I don't know, man.
Well, I'm on the opposite end. Not only do I think his job should be safe, I want to see what he do the next year, because I think what you said is a very good point. If you get more opportunities to swing, if you get 2 out of, let's say if he get 2 out of those 3 right, that's a win. If he ends up moving down to 12, it's not like there ain't talent that we still need that he can't pick up. So to me, to make that kind of move, which is something that Mike said himself, I need aggression. That would be very aggressive to not only compile 3 total first-round picks, you get an additional second. So that means from 12 all the way, let me see, your first 5 picks is in the top 50? How do you overlook that? It's hard to overlook. It might even be higher than that, top 40. So,
but then you got to look at the perspective, like JMO said. You're losing out on a blue chip player.
Mm-hmm.
Is the risk worth the reward? Because you're not going to get a Simmons. You're not going to get a Chase Young, Okuda. You're not going to get a Derek Brown. So it just depends, if the price is worth the reward. Personally, I love the trade down scenario, but damn it, I do want a blue chipper bad.
Man,
yeah, but that brings us to our next question though, and the next question is very clear. If the Lions do pull this off and he finds a way to make this happen, who should those picks be? And in my opinion, if I got 3 picks, I'm picking at 12, 19, and 26. Not even getting into the second round. First pick going towards the offensive lineman. Off rip. Second pick, I can get Kenny Gallimore at 19. At 26, if I'm feeling like it. I know Jim loves him some Jonathan Taylor. I can take a Jonathan Taylor. I can take a Jack Bond. See, I can get all those in that first 3 picks. That's a phenomenal amount of draft capital to happen. So to me, if I'm looking at those picks right now and I'm saying to myself, okay, what gives me the best chance? You really fill all the needs you want right there. The goal is to fill needs. If I get 5 of the top 45 players, I can't be mad at that. So, Jim, who would you take with those 3 picks? Keep in mind, you got pick 12, 19, and 26 now. versus just
see, I'm
3.
not going the same way they are though. You know, I mean, I personally, I would like if Derek Brown's there, I take him. I think he might be gone by we got 12. I think he might be gone by then, but I'd like to see me some Derek Brown. Also, I'm not picking offensive tackle first. I'm probably going if he's there, then I would go offensive tackle, and then I would pick up Jonathan Taylor. That's how I would do it.
That's how you would roll with it.
Yeah.
Drew, who are you taking with those 3 picks? If you're sitting there right now, pick 12. Obviously, you're not going to get Simmons. Obviously, you're not going to get none of the people that they have mocked to us. But you're sitting there with the 12th, 19th, and 26th pick. We're not even going to include those 2 first. That if they wanted to trade back into the first, they could. I mean, those 2 seconds. So who would you take with those picks, Drew?
3 picks, 3 words. Best available players. I don't care who they are, whoever is on the board then, because I think when we get to that territory, we don't really know who's going to be there and what we're looking to get. So, because I for the most part, I haven't done my research like this because I didn't think we would be falling that far. So down to that point, you got 3 picks, take the best available talent. Simple and plain.
I'm with you. But I just feel like this right here is more reason why I look at it. And I get it. I see the hood cam. Shout out to the hood cam. And if y'all did not see that dude, aka Dr. Dirks, he changed his name to that dude. He said he's rebranding the channel. Make sure you subscribe to him as well, and make sure you subscribe to the hood cam. He says, "Is it worth the sacrifice of Isaiah Simmons?" I have always said that if I'm going to miss out on Isaiah Simmons, I need to have a ransom that makes sense. Getting 5 picks in the top 45 is worth it. I'm sorry, it's worth it because that collective group can get me the same thing. I look at it the same way that happened with the Detroit Pistons. They put together a collective group to get the common goal done. They could have easily went out and got the big name guy, but I'm just saying it's worth it for me. But I mean, Rachel, you get those 3 picks, 12, 19, 26. How do you draft it?
So it's kind of a combination of what a few of you have said so far. I am definitely on board with just the best talent on the board at that time. But kind of jumping back to what Jim said, I still think I'm going defense first. I actually didn't hate that the article had Kinlaw there at 12. I thought that makes sense. Maybe offensive tackle can be addressed there too. Maybe Wills or Wirfs. Somebody is still on the board there. At that point, you take the best offensive tackle. And then I'm really caught between maybe like go ahead and go for that running back since you're there, or I was still kind of looking at maybe I know they've done a lot of work with their linebacker core, but I'm still looking at if there's some decent talent at linebacker on the board, that may be what I take with my 3rd pick there.
Listen, I can't shoot nobody's view about this down. I can't. I'm just thinking to myself, like that's like me giving you a blank check and being like, get whatever you want. You got 1 hour. I would go nuts. I know everything I would hit on quickly. To me, 3 first-round picks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You telling me if he magically get 3 first-round picks and they all bust, then hey, I stand corrected. But what's the odds of that?
But that's why I say you have to wait and see a little bit too, because if he picked 3 picks, you don't know how that's all going to work out, and like we haven't had a good team in 2 years, so I just want to say, okay, let's wait and see.
What's the odds of him getting every pick wrong? Like,
no, I mean the odds are very low. But J-Mo, how would you use those 3 picks? 12, 19, 26, and on top of that, you got 2 seconds.
Well, see, Luke, now you put me in a bad position because once I say what I say, it's gonna make me look foolish. But I'm taking defense. 1st pick, I'm taking the best defensive player, except a cornerback. Not if it's a cornerback, no. I'll probably, if Kinlaw's there, I'm perfectly fine with taking Kinlaw. And then I'm taking a tackle. But after that, I might just take the best wide receiver on the board because I don't really know when we'll probably get another chance to get a first round wide receiver that actually can live up to the hype, because we still got 2 seconds. So you can get your running back and you can get your linebacker or your other defensive player in the other 2 top 50 picks. Because I think guys like Taylor and Dobbin will fall into the second round. But that 26th pick, I might have to get the best wide receiver on the board, Jerry Jeudy, CD Lamb, something like that. Because I don't know if you could pass something like that up. It could stabilize us for a lot of years after Marvin Jones is gone.
I mean, you can listen. You can literally take a receiver at 12. Who gonna kill you on it? You got 2 more first. You got 2 seconds that you can use to move back into. Who's gonna kill you if you decide, like, you know what? I think I want to go Jerry Jeudy.
Right?
Ain't nobody gonna kill you on that. You know, like it's. Listen, this is like a no-brainer for me. What to do with these picks? But again, I can get. When people say no, just take the best player available right there at your pick and be done with, or don't go no further than 5. But
I can tell you what I would do.
Listen, I'm gonna get right to you, Mike. You trust me. You was my next guy up, because, like I said, you talking about obviously moving out of that top 5 draft area. You got picks 12, 19, and 26. What are you doing with those picks?
Everyone knows what type of person I am when building a football team. I play wide receiver, but I believe you win the games through the trenches. So with that 12th pick, I'm going to take Javon Kinlaw if he's available. The guy's a monster in the middle. He will get after the pass rush. He'll stop the run, immediately help the defensive line, and which will help the linebackers and secondary. To me, he can be a blue chip player. He's actually going up boards, and I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up getting taken before Derek Brown. That's something to pay attention to. And with that next pick, if this guy falls, you got to build the trenches again. Josh Jones, the offensive lineman, 6'5", 319. Throw him on the side of Big V. We can finally run the football for a change. We got a young offensive line, a big powerhouse. We're going to move the football. And with that final pick, that very final pick that we need, there is so many options here. I can go Yetur Gross-Matos. I can go Kristen Fulton, the cornerback. I can go AJ Epinesa. There's so many options, but I'm going to go ahead and secure the linebacker spot. Maybe take Zach Bond if he's available. 6'2", 238, and our defense is immediately better. Up front on the defensive line, the linebacking core, and the offensive line for the offense is much stronger. We still got 2 picks in the second round. I will focus on that running back in one of those second-round picks. We got 2 third-round picks. This team is just transformed from a crap team to a powerhouse, punch-you-in-the-mouth football team.
I like it.
I mean, listen, I can't shoot down nothing nobody's saying. You got 5 opportunities to get it right. It don't matter. If you blow 5 opportunities, you should not be in this game. Like, you can, even the blind squirrel gets a nut. You know what I mean? Like, come on. It's 5 opportunities in the top 45. It's no way you're going to mess that up. So to me, right off the back, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, listen, it's got to happen. I like your scenario. It gives us all the things that we need to get it done. But for me, I'm probably taking offensive lineman. I'm definitely taking Jack Bond in there. I mean, I'm getting it all. Whatever I do, I can't be killed on. I can't. But the value is too great. It's way too great to pass up on. Now, this gets me to this next question, because after Sports Illustrated did that particular article, I believe it was the fan side who did an article saying that if that did happen, they should trade back again for future draft picks. So let's talk about it. They've already managed to get 3 firsts plus an additional second. I mean, if that wasn't enough, should Bob Quinn keep rolling the dice, trading back, and try to get picks for the future? What say you, J-Mo?
Well, I say, Bob Quinn, you got a prime steak and you eating it. You don't need another one. Like, just take what you got and take those 3 first round picks. I mean, you can trade back and get more picks, but what's the point? I like getting the best talent as possible in those first 45 picks. I don't need to be trading down. We already got 2/3. Like, what are we trading down
right.
for to get even more picks for? Like, I remember, man, when I was live with Real and them, I was like, I'd be fine if the Lions pick 5 players and they all was in the top 50. I literally said that because I'm not moving back in the 3rd and in the 4th. Like, we got too many picks. So I just say you stay up top and you get the best players and just have some fun. Because 2 of them players can just be luxury picks that you just want. Have some fun with it, man. No point in moving back, man. Get those great players.
I mean, listen, I'm not listen. I'm gonna get right into it. I would stay at 12, but I would certainly be willing to part with I would probably part with 26. You know, I might even be able to part with just 19 if it nets me another first round pick in next year's draft. I most certainly would do it, because if things don't go right, I can see a scenario where we can now take that, pair that up with some other picks, and move on up to somebody who, you know, may not be so quarterback needy. And if we needed a quarterback, we can say, hey, you know, I know you the first overall pick, but hey, if I can pair one of those and get it, I would definitely do it. But I do understand your point of saying why keep going back. We already got 3 firsts, 2 seconds, and 2 thirds. So what will be the point? But I mean, what say you, Mike? I mean, should the Lions continue to roll that dice and gamble and trade back for future picks in next year's draft, or should they just say, listen, you already robbed somebody, you commit the crime, you know, fold when you know you won?
Hey, we can wear masks now because it is social distancing with this flu epidemic. So I'm going to continue to rob, and I'm going to take that 3rd round pick, 2 3rd round picks, and I'm going to jump back into the 2nd round. I'm going to continue to gain players who can immediately help the team out. We need talent. We need players that can start day one. We've had injuries. Guess what? We have an injury with all these draft picks. We got players that can be in place. I'm immediately making players in this team readily available to play next year. It's must win. We have not won in so long, and I want to see win, and that requires players to fit the scheme. That requires players to play via not injury. So trade back up into the 2nd round, throw one of those 3rd round picks out of the way, and let's get another talent. We need a running back. There's one available. Go ahead and get it. If J.K. Dobbins is there, go ahead and get it. Don't be afraid. Be aggressive. I don't care if we have 3 first round picks. I'll have 3 second round picks too and be an asshole.
I love it, Mike. I love it.
I mean, listen, them are all good points. Now we have 100 people on the video watching. Let's get those likes up, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you don't not hit that like button. We got a lot to cover, and I want to make sure we get into it. Plus, we got to take your questions. So if you got questions, you don't want to go nowhere, because we're going to address all your questions at the end when we get through all the discussions and stuff. So I totally get what you're saying, Mike. You like just, you know, full-fledged, go full a-hole, go out and get everything you can right now. Forget thinking about next year. Go for it right now.
There's only 55 players on a roster now. If you look at last year, we had players that didn't even make the team that we drafted. So let's use our picks and get players that's going to be on the team. We don't need no scrub 7-round pick. We don't need no 6th round pick. Just go ahead and get us players immediately.
Mike going in. Like, see, me and Mike the same. We want y'all to pick 5 or 6 great players. I don't need 11 players.
Tired of this being relaxed, man. We got to hit a grand slam in this draft. And that's why I pitted my grades on free agency to this draft. This draft is how you build a roster. Quinn's got to hit a grand slam. He's got to put talent around this team. He's got to put talent around Matt Patricia. Because guess what? If we lose, they're out of a job. And we're starting all over again. And I'm tired of starting all over. I don't know how many times we did pre- and post-game shows of how freaking optimistic we were before a game and how pissed off we were after a game. And 16 times of that, I lose hairline. I'm going to have a 6th and a 7th head by next year. I want to win, and I want to win now.
Yeah, and to me, it makes sense. To me, the options, this trade right here, to me, creates a dilemma that if it did occur, it creates a dilemma where it's like, you have got to be the dumbest general manager if you blow this. It's just no way possible. You know, if you come out and decide to take 3 kickers, obviously you're trying to get fired. But like, really, how can you mess this up? And the only way I would be willing to forego a talent like Isaiah Simmons is if I could cold-heartedly guarantee get me multiple players to make me feel better about it. Like, everything has a good price, and that was a good price to just say I can't get this one player, in my opinion. You know, so again, Rachel, I mean, let's talk about it. If you are sitting up there with the opportunity to trade back again and get additional picks for next year or make some aggressive moves, are you down for it, or you think they should stay put and keep that 12th, 19th, and 26th?
I am really with Mike on this one, and his delivery, I have to say, was phenomenal. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's go. But I'm with him on that because, I mean, I'll even bring it down to how I feel personally. Exactly. I am tired of losing. I am ready to win now. We are under this win now mandate. And I think, number one, I mean, you are drafting these guys. You want them to be able to step out onto the field. You know, you don't want it to be shaky. You want to make sure that they can play, that they can fill in, that we're not going to hit the same injury concerns that we had last year. But if they're that good, and you're like you said, we have to hit on some of these. There's no way that we're not gonna, that every single one of them is gonna strike out. If we hit on a few of these, if you think about that too, it does also sort of help set us up for the future, in that if they're good players, they're young, they're gonna be around, and we can kind of groom them and keep them either with us, or maybe we groom them and use them for some kind of blockbuster trades in the future. But I think that just thinking of it as like, oh, well, trading for picks next year, that's how it would help us look towards the future. I slightly disagree there, because I think that taking the best available players where we are at in this trade scenario also helps us in the future. You've got young, great players that, and I think you can't miss out on that opportunity.
Talk. Y'all see the queen in the building? Are y'all paying attention? If you sleep, wake up. If you tired, go get a 5-hour energy drink or some coffee. Whatever you need to do, get up and pay attention. Things is happening around here, ladies and gentlemen. If y'all have not noticed it, it's getting bigger, better, and at the most highest level it can be. We got talent across the board. Rachel, you got me out here nervous now. Don't do that. All right, listen. Drew, listen. Lions sitting up here. Obviously, they don't somehow finesse they self into 3 firsts and an additional second. Should they keep trading back, or should they simply just say, you know what, I've won this trade race, take the best player available, or what? I mean, how do you see them going about doing it?
Well, there is no such thing as too many picks, in my opinion, just as there is no such thing as too many likes. These guys have not hit that like button yet. We got 100 plus in the building. Only 65 likes, so let's get that ratio up there. Look, I want to, if we're going to do this scenario and we're going to get 12 and 19, I say keep those 2 picks there, because you're going to get a quality player. Might not be the game changer up as you would get in 3, but I think that 3rd pick there is more interchangeable. You might be able to get 2 seconds or a high second for that pick. That's really where I'd go with this. I think getting 3 first this year would be a steal. There's no reason to mess with chance here and screw this up. If you get 3 extra first round picks, I don't see how you can get too greedy and try to make it 4 or try to make it 5, because you're not going to be able to. If you get to 3, I don't think there's going to be another move for the Lions that it's realistic, unless you're going to trade that 3rd pick to get a couple seconds maybe.
Now, according to Funky Nuts, because this right here is his scenario, he's saying, listen, if we fall at 5 and Simmons is still there, just take Simmons at 5. You already acquired the 26th pick in an additional second. Why get even further down by going to 12? Because it's 3 first-round picks. Like, I get what you're saying. You still walk away with Simmons.
But I understand what he's saying, but, like, you could get Simmons and, let's say, an O-lineman. Or you could get Kinlaw, Jerry Jeudy, and Zach Bond. Which one sounds better to you?
It's a lot. You're getting so much more for that. And Top Tier says, what's the topic? The topic is, and you know what? Top Tier, you this right here lets me know I need to put the topics on the screen. So I'll start doing that going forward, okay? But the topic is the Detroit Lions have some, according to Sports Illustrated, the Detroit Lions finessed the Miami Dolphins out of the 5th and 26th pick and a 2nd round pick. They then turned around and trade that 5th pick to the Oakland Raiders to go down to 12. They walk away with the 12th pick, the 19th pick, the 26th pick, an additional second. They then turn around, according to Fanside, and take another trade down to acquire picks in the future. So all these things that are occurring, they're saying that they're just going to keep going at it. That's where we at with the topic. And so my question now rolls on over, to you, Jim. Are we going to keep this trade down scenario going, or are we just going to be happy with what we got?
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say this. I want to say to subscribe to Rachel's channel because she's new to the DSA, and we want to get you guys. We got like 100 people in here. We can get you guys to subscribe to her channel. That would be awesome.
Yes.
So that was the first thing I wanted to say. Second thing about the question: do I think we should do it? Yes. Get picks for next year. I think we should. Do I think we will? No. Because here's the situation, and this is why the mandate is so important, whether that is real or not. Because if that's real and you're trading picks for next year that you can't use and you may be fired, no general manager in their right mind is going to trade for next year's picks.
Thanks.
Not in that situation. So what I think for me, I would sit here, and if I had all that ammunition, I'm using the 2021 second round pick, pairing that with another pick, and I'm jumping up.
I mean, listen,
I'm using next year's capital because I may not be here next year.
It makes sense though, and it makes sense. Just you got it. It's right there. But I also look at it from this standpoint too, Jim, and shoot me down anytime you think I'm crazy. Okay. If you have an opportunity right now to walk away with that type of draft capital, you don't have to set yourself back. And on top of that, you can pick up an additional first round pick in next year's draft. We don't know where it's going to be. That still gives you a lot of draft capital to be able to move up in that draft for next year too. I'm just looking at it from the standpoint
I understand that. You're looking at it from the standpoint though of the team and not the individual.
Right. Yeah.
So if you're Bob Quinn, you don't do that because you may not have a job next year.
Yes.
You don't trade picks from this year. You don't give up your capital this year to give it to somebody else next year. That's all I'm saying. You have to win now. So you have to use every pick that you got.
I can't argue with you. Listen, this scenario that is proposed by the Sports Illustrated is so beautiful that it's nothing nobody can be mad about.
But do you think it's really going to happen? I just don't think Miami.
Well, I mean, let's talk about it. I mean,
Miami, I think will.
It's possible.
Really?
I could see the Miami portion. It's the Raiders.
Yeah,
I can see the Raiders. They're crazy as hell usually.
I mean, but listen, let's be honest. What's the likelihood of it happening? Is the likelihood of it happening as low as it would be with, say, us drafting Tua? No. It's a good chance that this can happen. Is it highly likely?
A chance, but I'm thinking Miami's my concern because they could have Tua just drop to them. They don't need to trade. They really don't. Unless San Diego's coming up and we can make some smoke that San Diego's coming up.
I was reading SB Nation for the Miami Dolphins, and all the beat writers and all the people on their page was suggesting that it's a 95% chance they're moving up from 5 to 3. They don't think they can get for 2. They said they want Tua. They literally traded players last year to screw up and suck for Tua, but they end up winning just enough to be the 5th pick. So they're more than willing, and they think, to give up the 26th pick for move from 5 to 3. All that crap we hear, how they're not interested in Tua, that's just a bunch of malarkey. They want to get the guy. And they said 95% chance that they're moving up from 5 to 3. Go on Pride of Detroit. It's questioned with SB Nation's, the Miami Dolphins beat writer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if it happens, that's great. And Raiders have always been funny in the draft. You know what I mean? But they're under different ownership now. But who knows? I mean, they could be looking for a quarterback too.
They could be, because Derek Carr,
because we're at 5. We're not. I mean, we'll be at 5. They could get Herbert.
Well, check this out. See, if Miami jumps to 3, gets Tua, then the Chargers are like, oh, crap, I got to get Herbert. So they're going to draft Herbert. But then the Raiders would be like, oh, my God, all 3 quarterbacks are gone. I have to jump up here to get love because the New England Patriots want to get love.
Yeah, listen,
the domino.
The scenario is beautiful.
In the draft, the Patriots, are they above the Raiders?
Well, here's the thing. This scenario, look what it's doing to us. There's so much going on. We don't even know how to act.
Right.
It's like literally going into one restaurant to get all your favorite food. Like, and you know that it's all about 5-star chefs.
Like Christmas with all these presents under the tree.
Right. It's like amazing.
The reason why we're so excited because we suck during the season, but damn it, the NFL draft, we always win. There's always hope on draft night. I remember going nuts. We got TJ being live with JMO and getting Amani. This is our best time of the year, guys, because we can't take an L in 2 weeks. It ain't happening. We're getting it done.
Listen,
well, we really can't though. He's right, man. We really can't take an L, man. Because if we do,
please save your questions for the end. We're going to address them. We want to give you the fair opportunity to address them. But let's get back to the reality. Let's say that all this that Sports Illustrated is talking is fool's gold. It's nothing more than a dream that's never going to happen. The reality of it is this: the Detroit Lions will be sitting up there, obviously, with a pick. Do you want the Detroit Lions to trade up in the first round or trade up into the second round from the third round using those third round picks? And let's start off with you, Mike.
Hell yeah. I'm trading up. I got 2 third-round picks, 2 fifth-round picks. I'm trading up into the second round. What the hell? There's a guy that I want who's fallen in the first round. Maybe they want to get Cesar Ruiz. We need an offensive lineman. Who gives a damn? Just get the guy. We need protection. We need to run the football. Don't be sitting back and be like, oh, I'm waiting for. No, be aggressive.
Mike's
I don't give a damn about a 7th round pick.
Listening to you talk about draft picks while I'm working out to pump me up.
That's right. I did that last year, and guess what? PJ didn't even play for our team. We drafted him in the 7th round. We get Nada, our tight end, who plays fullback by the end of the year. Let's take some of these picks that we're not going to utilize and get players that we are, because this team needs help all over the field. And we have to hit a grand slam in this draft, folks. It is no lie. I'm not BSing you. I am a Lions lover to death, and I drink the Kool-Aid like no other. But if we don't get help with this roster in this draft, it's going to be a long season.
Yeah, but we got some pretty good picks in the third round, though.
That's right, and we can have better ones in the second.
He said that's right. Pick, I don't care about them third round picks. They're irrelevant to me.
Oh, I don't think so.
I mean, listen. It's obvious that we want the Lions to be aggressive. Drew, do you want the Lions to take that aggressive approach and trade back into the first or trade back into the second and get more picks? See, this is the reality that we got to come back to. It was beautiful what Sports Illustrated did for us for a few minutes, but we're back into the real world. Do you want them to trade back into one of these rounds and be aggressive?
Look, I think we need to start having Mike go last because I can't top what he just said. Everything he just said, it's like
that's where I'm at. I'm like, okay, yes, I'll just take his answer.
That's where I'm at too. Just listen to the guy above me. He said everything that I wanted to say. If you could take a second or a third and move it up, rather if it's a trading a couple thirds, get in the second, trading a couple seconds, get in the first, you do it. It's common sense. So, Mike, I'm giving you an A+ for the show today. We're only 45 minutes in, but you stole the show today, man.
Folks, if you think I'm fired up now, the first day one of the draft, we're on Luke's channel. Second is on my channel, and third's on Jim's. I tell you what, if we do good, I'm going to be happy. I tell you what, if we do bad, you're going to want to laugh really, really hard because I'm going to be punching walls and freaking out.
Jeez, we got to pray about it. They do something crazy. It's gonna be crazy. I know I saw a comment in the chat. They were saying that Wojo said that the Lions could take Derrick Brown at 3, like stay at 3 and take Derrick Brown.
I don't think they will.
I don't think that's the case. I just but
I can see it at 12.
Yeah, I can see them. Yeah, if they went down some, but 3, I don't see it. But I mean, I take it we all are in agreement with Mike that they need to be aggressive and do whatever they need to do to get the best talent available, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yes. I got a different take, I guess, because I do, because we've done really well with our third round picks, and we have some. Kenny Galladay's a third round pick, guys. How many picks do
Tracy
we have
Walker.
out of the top 85? If those pan out, I mean, that's more players that are gonna be Pro Bowl type players for our team.
Yeah.
So in a way, that's kind of what I'm.
Very good point. That's a very good point. Jim.
But then we take Harris last year in the third round, and that worked out real well.
But he's probably our worst third round pick at best. I mean,
I know. I mean,
we've had a pretty good run in third round, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's like a good 40 players that are just like studs in this draft, and if I can move up to get 2 of those players, I have to do it.
I'm not disagreeing with you, J-Mo. I'm just saying that the more picks we have, the more ammunition we have, the more Bob Quinn gets to be, Bob Quinn.
We got 9 picks. So. Man, we don't need to draft 9 players, 5, 6 players. Like, that's the way I feel. We don't need 9 players.
You just want 5 or 6 dog players, huh?
Oh, yes, I do. I'm with J-Mo on that. But if you could get more, why not?
I mean,
this team is seriously lacking in talent.
Hey, like I said, I have to wear masks when I go to work because I work at a hospital and I'm willing to rob other people. So let's get it. Let's
rob people. Whoa. Mike is the star of the show tonight.
Pulling up on you for them picks, man. He ain't playing about the picks, man. I need those picks. I need no picks.
Look, I am betting this whole season comes down to this draft, in my opinion. And if we suck, I don't know how I'm going to handle being on Luke's channel and my channel. You know what? 2 days for the RoundTable and then pre and post game show on a Sunday. I'm going to be going nuts if we suck. This last year sucked, man. So we have to do well in this draft so I can at least be calm.
The secret is Drew Weisers.
That dude and Roland G say if the Lions mess this up, it's going to be like how I was about one Mr. Montez. And I cannot stand it. I was so irritated with everybody talking about, we're going to draft Montez. I was like, slap yourself. We're not taking this guy. He's not going to do what you think he's going to be great. I'm like, what are you talking about? We can't do this. It's not going to happen. So, no. But Mike came through with the like, hey, Mike, so do you think they should trade for the trader? Mike was like,
just do it.
What was going on? Mike came through like, listen, get to the point. Stop playing with me and let's go. And I'm not mad. Like I felt like as soon as Mike came on, we was like, Mike, we should do this trade. Jim's like, well, I got a different view.
You know how mad I was about the Dion Lewis rumor and how I didn't stop? I hope my screaming and anger got to Bob Quinn and he didn't sign it. And I'm like this again with this draft. Hit a grand slam. Just do it.
Listen, look. See, look. This is what happens. See, we getting trolled by our own members. Did he say let's trade? Hold on. No, I gotta get one for him. I gotta get one good for him because this right here is not acceptable. I think we need to give him this one. Yeah. Shoot that thing to high hell. You better not trade a third round pick for that bum. I'll be upset. I will be highly upset. I mean, but listen, I get what you're saying. We have done good in those later mid rounds. I can understand where you're coming from with that. Now, the NFL draft will be a completely virtual this year. How do you see that affecting the Detroit Lions, Rachel?
I mean, I don't want to bring this down to bad luck, but the first team that I thought about when I read some articles saying that teams were concerned about their draft rooms being hacked on Zoom, I was like, oh, that's us. Like, if it happens to anybody.
Don't do that to me.
If it happens to anybody, it's us. But, other than that, I think people are going to really miss booing Roger Goodell live.
They're going to find a way to do it.
I'm sure. And I'm hoping that they do provide a little bit of extra time for the picks potentially, because since they're not all necessarily being able to sit in a war room together, and we know how technology can blip and can mess up. I'm hoping that they do add a little bit of time just in case, maybe just an extra 30 seconds or something, just in case there's any technical difficulties. But outside of that, I think most of the teams are in the same boat. The ways in which it's going to affect us, it's probably going to affect everybody else. So if anything, I almost see that as a level playing field in this instance.
Yeah, I mean, why did you have to go and bring up that scenario I never even thought about? Now you got me wondering, like, are people going to be like, let me hack up in here? Oh, y'all going to take this person? Okay. Like, why? I was all like, it shouldn't affect them at all. But then you come with this, what if they get hacked? And I'm like, it would be us. It would be. It would just be much of the same for it to be. Why, Rachel? Why did you do?
I mean, it was one of the first articles that I saw, and I just thought, oh man, it's too late. I mean, before I told myself don't think it, I already did. So I don't know.
My God, J-Mo, what say you, man? How do you think that this entire virtual draft is going to affect the Lions?
I think that they will be given extra time, so I think it will give us more flexibility. But Rachel is definitely right. We will probably get hacked, and then they'll probably post all of our picks online. They'll probably post everything and just laugh at us. But regardless of we getting hacked or not, we still got the 3rd overall pick, so I don't care if they know what we're doing. But I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. I think every team, they'll continue doing what they always been doing, and I do think I like the advantage of us getting more time. But I also don't like it because when I'm watching the actual draft, I'm like, will you get this damn pick in? Like, I'm tired of waiting for these teams to get these picks in, but it's probably going to delay it a lot. But I think we'll be fine, and all we got to do is just go hire some hackers to stop the hackers, and we'd be good.
I mean, we might need to enlist the hackers for the Lions fan base, like, be on standby. Somebody get up in that trip and shut them down. Expose all their business. She messed me all up when she said that. I was like, what? I'm like, wait a minute, they can't hack a computer, right? Like, what? Yeah. I think it's going to be better for the teams, to be truthful, because I think it does give you a chance to get more in depth of what the conversation is like, to get that initial reaction. And now they have to show those reactions, and instead of just skipping over like how they did Jelani Tavai. They take linebacker Jelani Tavai to Hawaii. So the Raiders selected a running back 4 days ago, and it's like, wait a minute, bro, we just picked. Show me my pick. So I think we'll get more respect in that regard.
Good point.
So what say you, Mike? I mean, Mike, Jesus, Mike. Why? You know what, Mike? Don't come in here killing everything today. All right, Mike. What say you? How do you think it's going to affect with this draft being completely virtual for the Lions?
It's going to affect us in many different ways, and the concepts that I'll speak about will go to that. But first, we have 103 in the chat. Let's get 103 likes. Right now I see 78. Let's get 103 likes. Also, we have Rachel. She is new to the DSA. Make sure you subscribe to her channel, as well as Jim Bordeaux. I am the hothead. He is the level head. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Detroit Drew, the guy's funny. And 313 JMO is getting close to 1,000. If you're not subscribed to his channel, we need to get him there. It opens up chat. It opens up so much different things. And I like seeing JMO open up, just not with a knife. Now let's get to
he said Jim to Con when Jim be like, Jim, we're cutting your foot off. I got another one.
Now this is interesting.
Let's plug another one in.
Now, are they getting extra time for their picks? This is something that I don't know if that is true. It'll be interesting to see that if they get extra time or not. However, I don't think it really affects anything. If there is hacking, we did come from the Bill Belichick tree. We know how well they play fair over there. It would probably be us doing the other way.
That's what I was hoping the Patriot way would be.
And y'all are terrible.
Oh my goodness.
I was hoping we were going to cheat better than Green Bay.
Well, and at least we're not their target, right? Because we are like their little mini. So
the referees, they're not involved in the NFL draft, so I think we're safe on that aspect. But considering the fact that I think they already know when it comes to trades, what they have in mind. They got cell phones, so I think at this point before the draft, if they're going to make deals, at least in the first round, the deal's probably already been made, and they just simply make the call and say, hey, it's a go or a no-go, just depending on the prospect that falls in that specific spot. So I'm not too worried about it. Again, I just simply want to not be spoiled on the pick. I'm glad, hopefully they don't show who's the pick is before it happens. I'm a guy who likes to be surprised and not see someone celebrate before the pick goes in. So hopefully it goes soundly, but yes, it's going to be interesting to see something different, and it will be fun. If you guys don't want to watch it, make sure again to join Luke G's channel first night, day one of the draft. It's going to be sick as hell, and let's get it.
All right, J-Mo, I mean, how do you think this affects the Lions, with it being all virtual?
You already I already went.
Did you? Listen, look, I'm up here reading the chat too, laughing at people like, yeah, cheat him up. Yeah, that's right. We can cheat.
I mean, but Luke, no, don't we deserve the reparations,
I mean, but wait a minute.
So much.
I was not expecting to see them things come in so fast. Like, yeah, that's right, cheat. We need to hire a hacker ourselves. I'm like, what is going on?
Hey, anything for a tip, man. I don't care.
I mean,
with the new Patriots, what do you expect?
The only thing I haven't seen yet is if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I mean, what is really happening? Like this is crazy. It caught me off guard. Let me switch gears a little bit, because we all know that there were a few prospects this year who decided to not participate in the NFL draft, and they decided to say, you know what, I'll opt for a pro day. So it got me to thinking, does this year serve as a lesson to those prospects who choose to skip the combine? We'll start off with you, Drew. Matter of fact, no, J-Mo, we start off with you. Does this serve as a lesson to those people who decide that we're going to skip the combine?
I remember this topic came up a few weeks ago, and I was actually kind of upset that Chase Young didn't want to do the combine. Y'all disagreed and had your own views on it, but I thought, I mean, the combine, unless he was really, really, really terrible, there is no way it was going to hurt his stock. It could only make his stock rise even more. And now, what Isaiah Simmons did, I heard Washington loves him. Of course, New York loves him, and we do. But I don't know Chase. They're going to pick Chase Young. I'm not as sure. And if they didn't pick Chase Young, then it would be because of combine. To me, it wouldn't be any other reason. And I think a lot of other players that didn't go to the combine are going to fall now, and their stock is just going to be lower than it would be had they went. And I just feel like, I'm just a personal person. If you have faith in your abilities and you get invited to the combine, go. I don't see any reason to not go, because to me, that means you don't believe in yourself. But it is what it is. But I think it's definitely going to affect some players, and those players that fall. Like, when Chase Young falls, like, we trade back, pass on Chase Young, and he fall to like 6 or 7, then that's going to show a lot of people, it don't matter how high your stock is, things can be changed when people ball out in the combine.
Very good point. Very good point. Jim, I mean, what say you? Does this season serve as a lesson to those people who chose to wait to pro days and not participate in the combine, even though they were invited?
I think it does. Because they were going to wait for their pro days. All this happened, and now there's going to be a second thought to it. It's like, okay, maybe I should have put something out there because I could have moved up in the draft. But also, playing devil's advocate, if they did show up on the combine and they did work out and they did terrible, of course their stock could drop too.
Good point there too. I mean, listen, y'all hitting the nail on the head. Drew, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, you think that there's going to be some prospects who are going to look back and be like, Corona, you got me. like, do you feel like they're going to be sitting? Yeah, are you going to be, you think they're going to be sitting there saying to themselves, okay, I should have went on and did it. Like, what do you think? Is this going to serve as a lesson to them?
Well, I think there's going to be some people in the chat sitting back after the stream's over and feeling kind of the same way for not hitting that like button, but that's neither here nor there. Look, I think prospects are going to be most happy about is not going on that damn boat draft night. I think they're happy they're not going to have to ride the boat to go to the draft stage. But at the same time, this could hurt some people who didn't opt to go to the combine or senior day or whatever that one was called. I'm drawing a blank right there. I've had too many, but you only
We just hit 9 o'clock.
I got out at 3 today and
not
started
late
putting
enough,
them.
man.
Let's stop. All right. When you have an opportunity to go to a professional sport, rather whatever it is, if you aren't willing to put in the hard work and dedication to, no matter how big or small, rather if it's individual workouts, a combine, I don't like people who feel they're entitled or better than that. This is a proving ground. I'm never going to change my opinion. I don't care who it is. I don't care if we take the guy who skipped that. It's a bad mindset for me. Like, you don't care enough about this sport, because there are people who aren't as athletic or as talented that have to go to these to prove to people that they can do it. So I'm never a fan of people thinking they're better than that. So yeah, I think this could come back and bite some of these players in the what down the road. We'll have to wait and see though. Only time will tell.
Mr. MicroMike, do you think that this is going to serve as a hard lesson for those people who decided to play the sitting game?
I don't give a damn about the scouting combine.
I mean,
we only got soft-spoken Mike for one segment.
I mean, he came in breaking glass. I don't give a damn. I don't care.
The film doesn't lie. Don't just simply go on what a person does at a combine. They could be extremely athletic, but maybe suck on film. I prefer to go what I see on film. Just because a guy can run super fast doesn't necessarily he's going to translate well to the field. I generally like, again, watching the film. To me, it's like polls for a presidential poll. Instead of just looking at one poll, you look at the aggregate. That's what I think about the scouting combine. It's just another piece to the puzzle. But again, I'm looking at the college game. That's it. Tape. I'm good.
Okay. Roland G says that Luke G, don't forget Chase didn't show up at that Michigan game. Could be he wasn't 100% healthy. Why he didn't do the combine? I mean, listen, he some people didn't want their stock to drop, and I get it. If I don't want my stock to drop, I'm probably not going to do it neither. And I've told people that, and I see a lot of people are saying that Washington is going to take Simmons, and I told people if he run a 4.3, it's pretty much a done deal for the Lions. I'm just praying to God that he gets there. But if that scenario that Sports Illustrated say come up, I can care less. At that point, I got 5 of the top freaking 45 to 50 players. I'm good. So, but yeah, I mean, it's an unusual approach. I want to kick gears because I want to make sure I get through all these questions. So it's pretty fair to say that we probably all agree that some of these prospects who did not participate is going to drop. But do we think that some of the top prospects are going to fall, like the Okudas, the Chase Youngs, hell, the Herberts, the two? Do we see those opportunities for them to drop, given the fact that they couldn't do the pro days? We'll start this off with you, J-Mo.
I think the combine helped a lot of people. Like, for example, Justin Herbert, people had their reservations about him in certain games, but he went there and he made all of the big time throws. And like I said, if Isaiah Simmons gets taken second overall, it proves my point, because I know Mike was talking about the film. Well, the film, before a combine was even thought of, I'm like, Isaiah Simmons. But if you're amazing on film and then you run a 4.3, what do you think is going to happen? And then somebody like Jeff Okuda, maybe he shouldn't have did the combine because he ran a 4.5, and a lot of people are alarmed by that. I'm not really that alarmed about speed with corners unless you tease Tabor. But I just feel like that, like, it's going to affect some players. The AJ Espinoza stock fell, but some other quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts stock rose because of the combine. So it just depends. But like I was saying earlier, if you think you're a great player, you gonna go. I mean, if you think you're too good for it, then if your stock fall, you can't complain. I think Derrick Brown's stock might fall because of the combine as well, but I still think he's a great player regardless of what he did in the combine because of the film.
Okay. What say you, Drew? Do you see that those people who didn't participate in the combine and who not going to be able to have those pro days, they're going to be dropping and falling out of the top? You think that's going to happen?
For the top 10, probably not. I think that those guys have been on NFL teams' radars since the tip off, or not tip off, but kickoff of the college season. So I don't think those guys are going to feel it as much. It's just kind of like the lesser talent that it really hurts. Those guys are big names. Everybody and their moms knows who they are. They'll be fine. I don't, the only thing that's going to hurt them is where are they going, who's taking them. But I don't see any of those guys really falling past 10 or 15.
Dwayne Hogan says, Luke, you was clowning the combine. I still am. the question is asked that because some people live by it. I think it's a joke, but some teams live by it. Oh, Aaron Curry, look at him. Can't miss. Yep. That worked out great. Oh, Vernon Ghostin, can't miss. Yep. That worked out great. Oh, Jamarcus Russell, can't miss. like seriously, like this it's been a lot of data that shows that like the combine does not really give you the measure like the film does, and a lot of those guys who in those films you watch, they were playing a certain style. Like even with the Eagles, I looked at our new offensive tackle or guard, Big V, and I said, man, the Lions better be doing the same thing the Eagles did, because he didn't have to worry about giving up no plays because they quick pass majority of the time. So just saying, film tells you a lot. Jim, do you think that that there are going to be some people who are suffering because they don't have this pro day and they're going to fall out of that top draft spot?
I don't know. I think the combine is basically the icing on the cake. I think everybody watches the film. Every team has a mock-up of every single person, and they follow that, and they just want to see with their eyes at the combine and confirm what they already think about the player.
Right.
So if they don't get that confirmation, I don't think it sways them one way or the other, but if they're participating, right, then they can get their eyes on the measurables and then, make their decision. They may move up or down on the draft board just because of the combine and the measurables. But I think most teams have already pretty much made a decision.
Mm-hmm. What happened to Jim? Jim don't muted himself. We get him back.
The thunderstorm hit.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I clicked the button,
you
people.
back?
I'm old.
Oh,
Come
oops.
on. Give me a break.
I clicked the button. I'm old people. Give me a break. You good,
That's what I
Jim?
said. No, but that's
go
all
ahead.
I had to say about that anyway.
All right, let me ask you. Let me switch it up a little bit, because you know what? I know we got these people coming in here with questions. I see all kind of questions covered up. I'm gonna try to get us to the question part real soon, but I gotta ask this question because this one came from the Queen herself, and it was something that got me to thinking when she asked, and I said, interesting. But it's something that makes you wonder in terms of a hypothetical standpoint, in terms of the matchup. If the Detroit Lions somehow magically makes the playoff this year, and on top of making that playoff, they happen to go against the Eagles, and now you're sitting up there with a Kenny Galladay versus Darius Slay matchup. How do you see that going? Let's start off with you, Rachel.
Well, I was thinking about this a lot today, and I honestly went back and forth because of just personal biases towards those probably being my favorite two Lions players. Now, one obviously being an Eagles player. So I imagined all these different scenarios. But what I do think is I give the win in that scenario to Kenny Galladay, because although he may not have the speed, and I don't think he's going to create like insane separation or anything from Slay. Slay is so good about staying in tight coverage. However, Galladay sometimes make those plays that make me reminisce on Calvin Johnson. He goes up and gets the ball where I think I just don't think Slay's capable of getting in the way of some of the catches that Galladay can make. And you have Matt Stafford throwing it to him, who knows, and we know Matt Stafford knows where he needs to put the ball for Galladay to make that catch. Even with Slay having kind of like the inside intel on the two of them, having played with them for so long, I can't discredit Kenny Galladay's ability to make amazing plays on the ball and Matt Stafford's ability to put the ball exactly where it needs to be.
This is what happens when you in the presence of royalty, people. This is what happens when that happens in royalty. That y'all not paying attention. Wake up. Go get your 5-hour energy drink and wake up, people. I mean, this is. I look at it like this. I think if the matchup comes down to it and they have to, battle it out, I think they'll quickly realize that you wanna get Slay some help. Slay can get handsy at times. I get it, but it's just one of them things where you have to be able to understand that tall receiver, though, his ability to box people out is horrible. I mean, and if it's a speed that people want to talk about, I'm pretty sure Keenan Allen is not faster than Darius Slay. He just did him dirty the whole game.
Exactly.
So
it would be similar.
Yeah, it would be a similar thing in my opinion. So that's how I kind of see it. What are your thoughts on it, Drew? Kenny Galladay versus Darius Slay. I mean, they get their chance to get that matchup going. How do you see it going?
My question is going to be, will Darius Slay even play? Is he going to be healthy? And if so, how long can he play?
I agree with Drew on that.
Hey, no, like, I'm being dead serious. It's not throwing
He's
shade.
being
I love
serious. I agree with
Slay.
him.
I love Slay. It's a tough matchup. It's a good test of will against both those guys. Both those guys should be fired up for that matchup. It's must-see TV. I'm going to be the homer here and say Kenny Galladay, because from what we've seen against Slay last year, personally, in this system, I was going to a new system. How well is he going to fit there? I don't know what to see. But I mean, really, realistically, health is really the main concern here. But I mean, Galladay is a tough matchup, man. He is so tall, so quick, so athletic. I mean, you just got to get the ball in the general area, and he's going to go get it. And Stafford just got that connection with them. They got the timing down. They're on target. Slay was getting busted a lot last year. I'm going Galladay. And
Okay,
it's closer than people are making it seem. People think that Slay's washed. I'm not ready to say that yet, but I'm going Galladay.
Listen, you got Drew on board with you, the chat on board with you. They all on board with you, and then on top of that, we gonna find out. We gonna find out what Mike thinks, because Mike, don't you come in here murdering nobody today, okay?
This matchup will be exciting for the one time they do it, because after the first play, Slay's going down with a hamstring, and that'll be really exciting to see when Kenny Galladay wins. But I think the most important part of this matchup is when the photo takes happen after the game when the Lions win, where they trade jerseys, Kenny Galladay with Darius Slay. So then we could take that picture and put it up in the locker room, put it up in the team meeting without Darius Slay in the room. I think that would be great. That would be the matchup I'm looking for. The switch in the jersey with Matt Patricia holding the picture up in the meeting.
You know what's funny? It's funny you say that, because when I had talked to JT O'Sullivan, he was saying that this when he knew he was in trouble with Matt Millen. He said when he went there, Matt Millen was watching WrestleMania or something. He was like, "What?" he's like, "What? You're watching wrestling, and we're trying to prepare for the draft in the season, and you're watching wrestling." So yeah, I'm with you. That dude say, oh, if Darius Slay get burnt, he's just gonna trade jerseys with the guy. So I get it. What are your thoughts on this, J-Mo? I mean, how do you see that matchup going, where it's Kenny Galladay 1-on-1 with Darius Slay?
Well, I'm sure somebody on the panel will pick Slay, but I'm gonna piggyback off of what Rachel was saying. I don't think it's necessarily a fair matchup, because it's not just Slay versus Kenny Galladay. It's Slay versus Kenny Galladay and Stafford. And Kenny Galladay, I'll never forget this catch. His rookie season, it was the Thanksgiving game. The catch, 50-yard catch he caught on the sideline. One of the greatest catches I had ever seen, because I still don't know how he caught the ball. I still don't know. And the pass that Stafford threw, though, was unreal. That same game, he threw to Marvin in double coverage like an idiot, and Marvin caught it because he's a good receiver. But those are the type of crazy throws Stafford can make. He can make throws where the cornerback, no matter how good you are, can't get to the throw. And then when you're talking about somebody, Kenny Galladay, who's 6'4", who's elite at making contested catches, it's going to be very hard. I do think Slay will give him trouble throughout the game, but if Slay was on him for the entire game with no safety help the entire game, like shadowing him, oh, he's gonna get burnt. You can't get Stafford that many opportunities to come at you. He's Stafford. He's gonna go to Kenny Galladay. He's gonna throw him the ball, and I just think it's gonna be hard for Slay. And Kenny G is a little physical, so I think he could body up Slay to get them contested jump ball catches. Like I mean, it's not too many corners today that can stop Kenny Galladay from getting a contested jump ball catch. So
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
just not fair. It's like it's 2-on-1.
Okay, listen. I can't shoot. Listen, y'all on fire there. I can't shoot down nothing. I'm just giving you more oxygen to keep that flame burning. That's all. I mean, listen. This right here is something that I know that many of us had a strong opinion about last season and was totally flip sides this season. But I think it's announced that the Detroit Lions will not be on Hard Knocks. What are your thoughts on that? Let's start off with you, Jim.
Okay, I kind of wanted to do the Galladay one.
Oh, my bad. Let me go back. My bad, Jim. I thought I got to you. My bad.
No.
Jim, give me your thoughts on Kenny Galladay versus Slay.
Galladay. I like Galladay. I think Slay's had a knee problems the last couple of years. That's one thing. The second thing is he's 6'4", Slay's 6 foot, big body, 214 pounds. He knows how to use that body in space, and I think he'd win that matchup. So maybe I'll go to the next question now.
No, I'm with you. My bad. Go ahead.
I try to get it all in there real quick. So, not being on Hard Knocks, I really wanted to be on Hard Knocks.
Me too.
You know what? I hadn't wanted that for years because I thought it would cause dissension in the locker room. I thought it would just cause us all kinds of bad stuff. But now I'm thinking I really want to see what's going on in the locker room.
Yep, I concur with you. I think my reason for concurring with you is too many people have been talking, and I want to see can the Tiger keep his stripes the same with cameras around him. I mean, Tiger King, man, if you don't stop
Man, y'all are obsessed with that show, man.
He says the Tiger King.
Carol Baskin.
Oh my
Killer, man.
God, he hate that lady, didn't he? Back on football. But I mean, I wanted to see it because so many people was talking, and I really want to see, like, seriously, what's going on. Like, I just want to, because at this point, I've never seen this many people come out talking like this. And it seems that the only two teams that this is happening on right now seems to be the Houston Texans and us. So I'm like, yo, what is going on? I want to see what's going on with it. So yeah, I'm a little sad that it's not happening. What are your thoughts, Mike?
My thoughts is we got 90 likes and 104 in the building. Let's get to 100. We can do it. That would be great. Also, subscribe to everybody in the DSA. Rachel is new to the DSA. She's smart. She's educated. She does parody. Make sure you subscribe to Jim as well. He is the calm guy. He's got more connections than AT&T. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Detroit Drew's drunk a lot. It's always good to listen to a drunk guy. And
I don't even know how many Drew watches he had today.
313 JMO is the heart of the city. The guy is straight, Detroit through and through. He works at Ford Field. He's a lucky son of a bitch. But when it comes to the question here, I wanted to see what they were going to do on Hard Knocks. But then I thought about it today, and I said, man, this ain't the year. With the stuff going on with COVID, there's going to be a lot of probably lack of practice we're going to have this year. We're probably not going to have a lot of OTAs. Maybe even a smaller training camp. So I was thinking, man, I want to see him on Hard Knocks to see what's going on. But at the end of the day, it'll probably be a little more of a distraction than it should be because of the COVID stuff and the lack of I think the training they're going to get. I think they're going to miss some OTAs. They're going to miss some time. I want to focus on winning football games. And if that's going to get in the way of it, I got to let my passion go and just deal with it. I want to see it, but it could be an interruption with this COVID
I
stuff.
want it so bad. I want it so bad. Rachel, what are your thoughts about the Lions not being on Hard Knocks?
Well, selfishly, I did kind of want to see it because that's probably about the only reality TV that I'm going to watch. But the more that I thought about it, and Mike's point about COVID and everything is good as well, but I just thought this locker room, and especially with all the moves that they've made in free agency and how they're adjusting the roster, I almost want to say, let's let them gel. before we come in there with a camera crew into our locker room with all these preconceived notions that we know what's going on in there and we kind of want to see that drama, but at the end of the day, I don't think we do really know what's going on in there, and I almost feel like it puts this negative juju that I just want to leave at the door, as far as letting this newer locker room kind of come together and do their thing first. Let's let them do their thing, figure out who they are as a locker room, how they vibe together, and with Coach Patricia, and then next year, yeah, let's get in there. Let's see what they're saying. Let's see what they're talking about.
Listen, I get it. I get it. I just feel like if I'm gonna see it any year, I wanted this one. I wanted this. Last year, I didn't want him having no issues, but this year, I need to see all of it. I need all that smoke. Now, JGB says, do drug dealers do deals knowing the feds is watching? Depends on who that drug dealer is.
That's what I'm saying. Though. Hard Knocks is no.
And also he says, "All hail the queen." Yes, she on fire,
absolutely.
man. Listen, we could not be more excited. we could not be like this is where it's at, man. When you got talent, we want you. That's what we want. We want talented people so we can make sure we get y'all the content that you deserve. And now you have a roster. Y'all didn't know it, but it's 12 members. So we are officially like the new sports D12. Literally.
And we are looking still for people that do Tigers as well as the Red Wings.
Yes.
If you're into that,
Yes.
please let us know. We
I'm
want to
into the Red Wings.
continue to expand. That is the whole idea, to take on the legacy mainstream media, defeat them, get press passes, do the things that we don't get to see in the real media, because guess what? We are a little bit PG, but we're not. And that's a lot better than the crap you hear on the mainstream media. Get one of us in there, we ain't going to be nice about it. We're going to straight up get to the truth.
That's right. The whole truth, nothing but the truth. At this time, I think I do want to do questions. I really want to get them a chance because we got over 100 people, and I know we're going to get a bunch of questions. So we'll start off with Soda Boy with the questions. If you have questions, put them in there right now so we can talk about them and discuss them. I want to get through them. We got a lot of people to cover. Soda Boy says, do y'all think the NFL season might get canceled? Okay.
No.
I'm going to lead this one off. I am praying they are not. I am praying with a vengeance that they are not. But I have seen stranger things happen. Hopefully by that point, we will be able to get this together. What say you, Drew, cancel the season?
You know, it's kind of really up in smoke right now with not just the NFL, but sports in general. I think now that the NFL has more time to prepare, they have kind of the advantage in all major sports of knowing what we're dealing with, that they could potentially kind of play in an arena football stadium, something smaller, keep all the teams in one city, play there. That kind of seems to be the new trend. I think that it won't be canceled. It might be shortened. It might be delayed a little bit, but we will have NFL regular season football and playoffs, and that's the bottom dollar.
Facts. It's not going to be canceled, guys.
There's no way.
It's not going to be canceled.
Do anybody think it's going to be canceled? Like, do anybody on the panel think it's going to be canceled?
I do.
The
No?
NFL is the
Wait.
in sports.
Wait. Jim, did you say you do?
Yep, I do.
Let's talk about it, man. Talk to me about it.
The reason is because I think they're going to be a lull in the outbreak or whatever that's going on right now, and that's going to be summertime, and I think it's coming back in fall with a vengeance. I really do. It's fall season going into the colder months is flu season.
Oh, so it's coming back like Terminator? Like, dang.
I don't know. I mean, I'll defer to someone else.
It didn't finish the first time?
It's definitely, there's a great chance that it comes back, but at that point, there'll be a vaccine. They're working on the vaccine right now. They simply got to make sure to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. They got to do, obviously, they got to make sure that whatever vaccine they come up with doesn't have major, after effects. And they're trying to get it through there.
Yeah.
I totally believe that will be good to go by the regular season. Now, when we talk about off-season stuff, when it comes to training camp, that could be pushed back. When it comes to the mini camps, I think they're going to be canceled. And that's something I could look forward to. Maybe we'll miss a preseason game here and there. I'm not sure, but I do not believe that the regular season will be canceled.
No way.
Thank God.
I mean, again, I listen. I hope so. Again, keep those questions coming. We will be talking about. I saw one from Ghost Gunner. He says, "Should the Lions take the punter from Texas A&M?" I told y'all I do not. I remember schools and their numbers,
Yes.
and then after I get that, I'll go with the name. But they already got 2 or I think 3 punters on roster.
Braden Mann. We will. I've been mocking this guy
I
to the
agree with
Lions the whole
Mike.
time. His name's Braden Mann. He's the best punter. He could be a top 5 punter. Throw a crappy pick at him if we have a crappy pick. Why not?
Okay,
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree.
I'm not familiar with the punter. I had all the film study that y'all been sending me have been skilled players and offensive linemen. And what y'all don't realize is I sit there and watch every piece of information I can, of video and film, to figure it out and try to make y'all videos. I have been working tirelessly trying to make these videos so I can just dump them out back to back like Drake. That's the goal. That's the plan. Let's see. What we got right here. Buffed Up says, "Is Grant Delpit a scrub?" I'm not gonna say he a scrub. For some reason, this past season, he had some issues with tackling, and I saw what the problem was. He was putting his head down, and when you put your head down, you lose sight of your target. So I'm not gonna say he a scrub, but again, I think he has some half decent ball skills. It's just that he's inconsistent with his tackling, and to me, that's the first fundamental part of being on defense is tackling. Question. It says this from PC Payload. We're at like 95 likes. Why can't we get to 100, y'all? Hey,
we can
hashtag
do
facts.
that.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me.
Packers
Yes.
fan.
Yes. Packers fan. You so silly.
Hey, he is not a Packers
He
fan.
say
Don't
he
do
is
him like
not
that.
a Packer fan. What you saying? Let's see. Again, this is your time to ask us any question that you want. We're going to go through and get it. Oh wow. It says not Lions related. This comes from the general view. He says, y'all think Cam Newton gets picked up? Yes.
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 Totally.
Jameis Winston's going to get picked up. He's going to get picked up. People are not just leaving quarterbacks out there just for the hell of it. I don't see it happening. I would be shocked if they did.
Peterman
both
can
gonna
get
be
picked
start-
up.
are they both
Cam
gonna be
Newton sure as
starters,
hell
though?
can get picked up.
Right.
Are
I
both
mean,
gonna be
they look.
starters, though?
Josh McCown, we ain't say starter. He said picked up. Now you making it complicated, J-Mo.
I'm asking that, though. Like, yeah, they can get picked up, but are they starting?
He's probably waiting
Hey.
for an injury to occur and then sign with a team that loses a starting quarterback. That's what I would
Ghost Gunner got a question again. He says, since we brought in a bunch of safeties, do we pass on Winfield from Minnesota? Yes.
Yeah.
I think he gets taken before we get to get him anyway, unless we get that blockbuster trade that Sports Illustrated had. I don't think we get him. Luke, we aren't friends anymore. I didn't say you was a Packers fan. That was Drew.
Drew.
No. I said Packers fans are the reasons we can't get to 100. I didn't call anyone a Packers fan.
Oh, okay. Well, it wasn't
Oh.
me.
Yeah, we
PC, I'm all love, man. Don't
It
break up with
wasn't
me
me.
like this.
He
Right, it
didn't
wasn't
throw
me.
out the ultimate insult.
Right. It says, so do you think he gets rocketed then because the pelt would hit last year? He has shot away from this year. I think that's the biggest thing right there. So I think it is a huge problem from that standpoint. Keep them questions coming, people. Look, I'm back in the game now. See if I'm talking about. Don't do us like that. This one right here, I'm gonna toss out to you, Mr. MicroMike. He says, wait a minute, how did I skip it that quick?
I don't know what that question is, man.
I know, right? I'm like, well, how did I skip it that quick? That was on me. I'm trying to hear. You know how when your house get quiet, your kids is doing something they ain't got no business doing, and I'm like, why did he get so quiet?
Yes, for sure.
I started listening. But his question, they coming up so fast, man. They coming up quick. His question is, what would you think of drafting Jerry Jeudy? We'll start this one off with you, Rachel. What do you think about the Lions taking Jerry Jeudy?
I wouldn't be mad if that scenario that SI kind of provided for us earlier, but I just think that I'm a little bit mentally blocked because I'm like, even in that scenario, I don't see him following that far. I think somebody's taken him. But I mean, hey, if we had the opportunity and he was on the board in that scenario, we handled some of the stuff that I think we really need to handle. Taking somebody else to be an immediate impact defensive player, definitely somebody up for our offensive line, then I'm never mad at taking a talent like Jerry Jeudy. I think he's going to have an amazing NFL career, and I think we have some contracts coming up, so I wouldn't be mad. But it would really have to be the right situation.
Okay. What say you, J Mo? You think what are your thoughts on the Lions drafting Jerry Jeudy?
If we have multiple first round picks, I'm iffy, but I'm okay with it at the same time. And what I mean is, I'm extremely high on Jerry Jeudy. This is my personal opinion, but I think he's the best wide receiver in the draft. So I would be upset and not upset at the same time, if you kind of know what I'm saying, because I think he's a great player, but I don't know if it will be the right decision. But if we have multiple first round picks, I'm open to it as long as that's like, but I don't know if he would fall as far as to what I would be thinking. Because I remember you were talking about like taking 12 if we had those other two first. That's probably where you would have to take them.
Yeah.
But it's something that I'm open to because I think he's going to be phenomenal. I really do.
Now, Wheezy D313 says, obviously the Lions have been dubious in the second round, but who's the most disappointing Lions first round pick in Quinn's tenure? Hockenson is up for debate. Oh, Taylor Decker.
Yeah, I would say Taylor Decker.
It's got to be Taylor Decker. Anybody disagree with that? Taylor Decker
over Jared Davis? I don't really disagree, but I'm just asking.
Ooh, Jared Davis, though.
I still think Jared Davis has been. Listen, I watched Mike on a live stream literally say, "God damn it," literally almost 30 times because this man false started. Every time they was in position for a first or got a first, it was a holding or a false start.
You remember Ty Johnson ran for like 20 yards and then Taylor Decker had a
I'm just saying.
How many times have we hit a first down and then there's a penalty by number 68 in the hole we can't recover. And then we turn the ball over. First down, holding. Guess what? It's over. The series is over. Oh my God. Number 68. That no doubt. As soon as you said that put nightmares back in me. No doubt in my mind, number 68 and his stupid hair.
Hey, listen, I think it would be him if you asked me. Let's see. We got one coming up from K-Man Season. He says, do you like the new linebacker coach from the Titans, and do you think he will improve our linebacker core at Luke? I'm going to be honest with you. Scheme improves every player's ability. If he can get Jared Davis to kind of understand his scheme more, then yeah, I'm all for it. My thing is why did the guy who had a similar scheme in Mike Vrabel let him bounce? So I'm not sure if I'm hyped up on the idea that he can come in and make some changes like that. And so for me, that's where it would be a little confusing. That any other questions y'all got? Because we getting ready to get up. I have to get up extremely early. So give y'all a chance to get in a few more questions. I know that a dude had a question, and I know I probably missed it, but I can't scroll back, man. It's over 1,000 messages in here, so I can't go back in there. Just give me that question. There we go. Come on, Data Dude. Give me that question so we can address it. I want to make sure we get it. Here's another one, and I think I am not going to pronounce this dude's name. Derek what? How you pronounce that? I'm not going to play with y'all. What do you think about Derek? That guy from North Dakota State in the 5th or 6th round. I have not watched film on him, so I cannot tell you what I think about him. But now I will because you brought him to my attention. But I have not watched any film on him yet. So I can't give you an opinion on him. Let's see. And the next one we have is, let me see. I still don't see your data boy or that dude's his one. So, oh, this is from Peace and Quiet. He says, who's your guy's favorite underdog in the draft? I love that question. We'll start this one off with you, Drew. Who's your favorite underdog in this draft?
As of today, my underdog is Detroit Drew. I've officially declared for the NFL draft. I think the
Yeah,
Lions
talk
can
to him.
use me.
Talk to him.
My underdog though, is he asking for the Lions or just player wise?
Just for the
Please
players
come
in the
on,
draft.
This is easy.
I'm going
Yeah,
Tua.
it's easy for me.
I'm going Tua because there's a lot of knock on Tua, and I think there's a lot of hype around him. But I don't think people realize how good he is. If he's healthy, he's going to have a Hall of Fame career. I don't really know if that's an underdog though.
Listen, it could be an underdog. I ain't mad at it. Mr. J Mo, who was your underdog in this draft?
It's 150% Derek Brown. I think because of the combine, people are disrespecting him. But when I watch this dude on film, he looks like a locomotive tank coming after you. I mean, when I watch him run down that running back and it was corners right next to him, I'm like, okay, something's different about this dude. When I watch the amount of push and havoc he causes in some of his game, I think he's going to be a very, very good player. And I think he might end up falling out of the top 10. I think he might end up being one of the most underrated people that get selected.
Okay. What say you, Mike? Who's the most underrated player in this draft for you?
To me, it's Justin Herbert. I don't understand the vitriol people have for this guy. I'm an Oregon Duck fan. The guy has the arm like Matthew Stafford, and he's extremely calm. The issues that they talk about is that he's an individual that's kind of quiet and not a hoorah type of guy. I don't know, man. I think if he falls, he goes to a team. I think he'll be a very good quarterback as long as he has time to develop behind a starter. And the vitriol when it comes to at least the legacy media, it boggles my mind. He outplays Love in the Senior Bowl. He outplays a lot of teams. His offense was so bad. As an Oregon Duck fan, the offense was bad. It was like literally Matthew Stafford on a Detroit Lion team 0-16. That's kind of what it reminds me of. I think he'll go to a team and do very well. Obviously not for the Lions, but whoever he goes to.
Okay, Miss the queen of the den. You got an underdog in this draft?
I didn't think about this question until right now, but I'm a JMO on this one because all of the negative things I saw about Derek Brown after the combine had me thinking, damn, people do take the combine more seriously than I do, and that I think it should be taken. I just saw so much negativity out there surrounding him after that. And, found myself in a couple Twitter debates about how the film doesn't lie, like we've been discussing earlier in the show too. So without really having put much thought into it, JMO said that, and I was like, yes, absolutely.
No, I totally get it. I think for me, the guy that I look at that might be is Cole McDonald. He's a quarterback that they're not talking about. They're talking about Love and everybody else, but I'm like, Cole McDonald has an opportunity to do some things different. That would be my offensive guy. And on defense, I think a guy that they're not talking about, and they probably should be talking a little bit more about, is Mr. Roberts, Meek Roberts from Louisiana Tech. I think when I did his film study, I walked away feeling real confident about what he can provide, and I think it's something you just cannot overlook, in my opinion. Ghost Gunner says, Luke, do you like Gallimore over Brown? I personally do. Yes, I do like Gallimore over Brown. Y'all can hear my baby in the back. He's learning how to talk, and Dada is his favorite word. I'm happy for it. This one comes from Ryan Zarkeezy. I hope I said that right. It says, why get a Cuda if we have a Warrior? I don't know. I don't even think that we're going to get a Cuda. I don't. I think they do like what they got out of a Warrior, in my opinion. And to me, if they didn't get True Fine, I probably would be like, yes, it's going to be a Cuda. But I don't know. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have been on for an hour and 40 minutes. I'm going to give everybody a chance for their final thoughts. We'll start off right off the gate. with J Mo. Give me your final thoughts, man.
Shout out to everyone in the chat. And one thing that I do want to say for all Lions fans here and far, all the ones across the borders, I pray to the Lord right now that Sports Illustrated is 100% right, and we get those.
Right, right. Like if you praying for it, right?
Please, I'm adding that to my list. Please let us get multiple first round picks. And I do, regardless of that, though. I want us to trade up in the draft. I just feel like we got too many picks and we need to get some of these top players. And the whole season, I've been about go all in for once in y'all damn lives. Go all in and be aggressive to try to win some football games. And I hope we can do it in the draft because I think we have the opportunity with the flexibility with the amount of picks that we have. And shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Rachel for being a member of DSA now, man. Make sure you guys like that video.
Yes, I mean we so happy to have us. So happy. I'll answer this question real quick for the Durham. He says, "Well, then why Simmons when we got all these linebackers and safeties? Because none of them were given long-term contracts that give them a reason to believe that they're going to be here for the long haul. And on top of that, Simmons is not just a linebacker; he's a defensive person's dream. Wherever you put him at, you got to account for him, and wherever you put him at." The quarterback's not sure if he's at the position that you put him at, so that's why. If you are leaving the chat, please make sure you hit that like button on your way out. We truly appreciate it. What are your final thoughts, Drew?
Well, Pete, it's been a great show. We are almost here. It feels like we've been running this marathon to get to the draft for years at this point, but it's almost here. The Lions, they can't screw this up. It's almost impossible, and if they do, it would be almost the most Lion things ever, but it is what it is. Thank you guys for rocking with us today. Did we hit 100 likes, Luke? Did we get 100? We did. We did.
I believe we did. Yeah. That's again to you guys. That's all you. That's all you. Get to 100 likes. All right. Now, Mr. Jim, he's one half of the dynamic duo for Lions on the Prowl. What do you have for your final thoughts?
My final thoughts today is about the Lions franchise as a whole. Everybody in the DSA, everybody out there that's listening, no matter what we think, no matter how much we argue, we always want one thing, and that's a W. And so we may have differing opinions on how to get there. And I feel like that everyone out there, you know what? I don't care how we get there any longer. If Patricia's the answer, okay, great, as long as we get there. What do I mean by that? I mean a Super Bowl. So that I just wanted to leave you with that thought. Please subscribe to Rachel's channel. She's brand new at the DSA. We welcome you with open arms, and we really appreciate you being here. And I'm out.
Yo, hello.
Okay, so who hasn't gone yet?
I'll just go ahead and go while Luke's dealing with what he's got going on.
Yeah,
folks, I appreciate it's extremely humbling that everybody came out.
We're going to get up here just a few minutes.
We were rocking with 107, 108, and that's fairly awesome considering the fact that the Lions were 3-12-1. The draft is nearly
I'm almost
here.
there.
Again, and again. Luke's talking to his kids, but I'm talking to you. And here's the deal, folks. Day 1 of the draft on Luke's channel, day 2 on mine, day 3 on Jim's channel. It's going to be so much fun. I expect us to kill the numbers. It's going to be live. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great reactions. Make sure you tune in. We need to get everybody in the DSA past 1,000 subs. I would like to do it before week 1 in September. So subscribe to all the DSA members. These guys need to get paid for what they do, their hard work and dedication. That's what it's about, man. It's all about a family, and that's what we are doing here. And like I always say, wash your damn hands.
The hand washing is most important of all. And last but certainly not least, our first lady, our queen of the den. What do you have for your final thoughts?
I just want to say thanks again for bringing me into this, and thanks to everybody in the chat for all the welcomes and all the love at the beginning of the show. I definitely look forward to hanging out and chatting Lions football with you guys. I actually am not living in the state of Michigan, so it's few and far between that I get to have these fun conversations and get asked these types of questions, or even even talk to people that know anything about what I'm talking about, to be completely honest. So thank you again. And I know March and April have seemed like the longest months of our lives to this extent. But the good news is the draft is so close and we're going to have so much more to talk about. That's pretty much it. One pride, guys.
Absolutely. Listen, people, y'all know me. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are amazing. What y'all do is without saying amazing in and of itself. And I just want to keep that same support going. We're trying to get this community to be bigger, better, stronger, so that way that it can be recognized, that they cannot ignore us no more. And so in order for us to do that, you got to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell his friend to tell his auntie to tell his brother, who's going to tell their mom, who's going to be the grandma, that they need to come and subscribe to the Detroit Sports Alliance and their members. And what that does is it creates a huge pandemic of Lions fans that's going to make the mainstream media do one of two things: either get on board and honestly discuss this team, or get put off the air by a bunch of people on YouTube who want to honestly discuss this team. I prefer the latter in the whole matter, or option two, we just take them off the air. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to end the show on a positive note. We're all still somewhat stuck in our house. Some of us are returning back to work. Some of us are not. Some of us are getting bad news and we don't know what to do with it. But I've realized that the small things are what matter. And today's quote comes from one Winnie the Pooh. That's right. I said it. Winnie the Pooh.
Okay.
All right. He says, sometimes the smallest things take up the most room in your heart. In other words, it's not all the big things that you can do that makes a difference. It's the small things, such as just taking out your neighbor's trash if they can't do it, cutting their grass if they can't do it, shoveling their snow if they can't do it, going grocery shopping for them if they can't do it. Simply just asking them, hey, how was your day? If no one else is going to do it, you can be that person to spread that positivity. It only takes a small thing to take up the most room in your heart. That comes from one Mr. Winnie the Pooh. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you subscribe to all the members of the DSA. And as always, don't be no chump. Please do your research.